Hey everyone, my name is Nika. Welcome to my channel. The story I'm going to talk about today is Snow White. Now I'm going to tell you the story of Snow White. Once upon a time, there was a queen who wished that she had a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. Her wish came true, and she named the baby Snow White. Unfortunately, the queen died a few seconds after this baby was born, so Snow White's father married another woman. This woman was beautiful, but proud and cold. She had a magic mirror, and every day she would ask it, "Who is the most beautiful in the land?" And every day it would answer her, "You are the most beautiful in the land." One day, when the queen asked her mirror said that Snow White was 1,000 times more beautiful than her. The queen was very angry. She ordered a huntsman to kill Snow White and bring back her liver and lungs as proof. When the huntsman found Snow White, he couldn't bring himself to kill her, so he spared her. Snow White flees into the forest and finds a cottage belonging to 7 dwarfs. They agree to let her stay if she cooks and keeps the house tidy. Meanwhile, the huntsman tricked the queen by bringing her the liver and lungs of a wild boar. Then the queen had to cook, roast the liver and lungs in salt, and then she ate them, believing she had eaten Snow White's liver and lungs. The queen asked the mirror again, and the mirror said that Snow White was still more beautiful than her. The queen realized that the huntsman had deceived her and decided to take matters into her own hands. She tried to kill Snow White 3 times. On the first attempt, she disguised herself as an old peddler and went to the cottage door, offering Snow White a laced bodice as a present. Snow White opened the door and let her in, thinking that she meant well. The queen tied the laced bodice around Snow White so tight that she suffocated and fell to the floor. The dwarfs thankfully untie the bodice and revive her. On the second attempt, the queen disguises herself as an old peddler again and poisons a wooden comb. At the cottage door, she offers the wooden comb to comb Snow White's hair. Snow White let her in again, but the second the queen put the comb in Snow White's hair, she fell unconscious from the poison. Thankfully, the dwarfs took the comb out of her hair and revived her. On the third attempt, the queen disguises herself as an old peddler again and poisons an apple, and made half of it red and half of it white. At the cottage door, she gave Snow White the red half and gave herself the white half. See, this apple was so cleverly made that the poison was only in the red half, and the white half was completely safe to eat. And Snow White took a bite of the red half and fell unconscious. But this time, the dwarfs couldn't save her, so they thought she was dead and put her in a glass coffin. A prince finds Snow White in the glass coffin and falls in love with her. He begs the dwarfs to take Snow White. While moving the coffin, a piece of the apple was dislodged from Snow White's throat, and she woke up. Then the prince and Snow White were having a wedding, and everyone was invited, even the queen. At her last ask of the mirror, the queen put on lots of beautiful jewelry and clothes, and then asked the mirror, "Who is the most beautiful in the land?" And the mirror answered that the young queen is more beautiful than you. At first, the queen didn't want to go to the wedding at all, but she must see who this young queen is. At the wedding, she saw it was Snow White. But Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after. The end. Now I'm going to give you some information about the fairy tale Snow White. Snow White was written by German authors Wilhelm and Jacob Grimm, aka the Brothers Grimm. The ending, I would say it's happy since Snow White and the prince get married, and the lesson is that outer beauty alone isn't enough to be beautiful. You need inner beauty too. That was the story of Snow White, so if you liked this story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.